Alright, so Sony's PlayStation 4 will require day one update. That sounds pretty familiar. Let's see, what's going to be in this update? Well, first off, certain key features of the PlayStation 4 will not work without the update, although I must say you will be able to play launch game titles out of the box. Solo player. That's a big hint on the fact that the PlayStation 4 had a DRM policy. While Sony has flat out said, yes, you will be able to play games, solo campaigns outside of the box, they did not mention anything to do with online multiplayer simply because of the fact that it did have DRM policies and Sony is still trying to say that it did not. The day one update will take away these DRM policies just like the Xbox One's day one update. Some other key features: you will not be able to use remote play on the PS Vita or the share button without the PlayStation 4 day one update, although it's kind of obvious for the share button because you wouldn't have any reason to use the share button if you didn't have the internet anyway, so you kind of need the internet just to get the update. Although it's kind of sad for the people who are looking forward to using the PS Vita and the remote play option if they weren't thinking about having internet. This update is a 1.50 update, which kind of shows the fact that they've had done updates already for it, and this is just the 1.5 version of that update. So apparently it has had some other weird things about it going on. Some other things you may not be able to do is voice commands and face recognition features that you need the PlayStation Eye for. That sounds really familiar to the fact that the Kinect does all that anyway. And I love mentioning that simply because I've had PlayStation 4 fanboys telling me they think it's creepy that the Kinect can do those things, and that it's kind of stupid that it does that. They act like it's not needed, but the PlayStation 4's eye camera does the same thing. Some other things that you're not going to be able to do. This is one of the biggest things that I don't understand is the Blu-ray and DVD support will not work without the day one update. I'll repeat that. You cannot use the PlayStation 4 as a Blu-ray player without the day one update. So if you're a person getting the PlayStation 4 for your family, you're going to have to make sure that you have an internet connection to get that day one update. Which, quite honestly, I didn't really care about needing a day one update for my Xbox because I'm going to have the internet. And I think it's funny that a lot of PlayStation people made that argument that you need to connect to the internet at least one time for the Xbox, because you need to do the same exact thing for the PlayStation now. And I know exactly what all those guys are going to do. They're going to say, well, it's not really that big a deal. And you know what? They're all hypocrites. I just thought that it's really funny that you're going to need this day one update, especially because I've gotten in so many arguments with PlayStation people. Once again, I want to talk about how I am for the Xbox, but I believe you should be going whichever system you want, not what other people want or whatever people are telling you. I'm going for Xbox because I like Xbox exclusives more than I like PlayStation exclusives. And that's simply the number one reason why I'm getting an Xbox. But I just really want to make these videos about the PlayStation 4 and what's happening with it now that we're getting closer to it being released, because a lot of people were saying how Sony is such a good company, they're so for gamers. You need to cut the crap, they're not. They, just like Microsoft, they're a business. They're trying to make budgets and deadlines, and they want to make money. They're using you to make money. That is what business is. We should just stop pretending like they're basically going to wipe our ass for us. We should just enjoy the consoles that they're making, enjoy the games of the next generation, and we really need to stop arguing with each other and being mean to each other. I fully support anyone who wants to get a PlayStation 4. You're going to be getting a good console, and I definitely support anybody who's getting an Xbox. And I'll support anyone who's getting a Wii U. I'm not really that big into Wii, but whatever console you want, that's yours. That's your decision. And I hope that in the next generation of gaming, whichever console you choose for, you enjoy it. And I hope you like my video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.